Hello and welcome back to the KCC channel. I'm Rob and I hope you are having a wonderful day today. Today we're jumping into some malicious compliance. Our first story today comes to us from the Milk Jug. We can only get one hotel room now? Okay, let's jump right in. Many years ago, I used to work for a company that did a lot of traveling. We're talking 12 to 20 hours a day in a truck with another guy, often for 5 to 10 days at a time. When we stopped at hotels, which was not every night, sometimes you slept in the truck, we would get separate hotel rooms so you would have a little bit of personal space. There was a per diem rate, and as long as we kept the hotel rooms under that rate, it was never an issue. Well, after about 15 years of this, the company suddenly decided that separate rooms was costing too much money. We had to share rooms now, regardless of the cost. The job market was fairly good at this point in time, and a few guys basically quit on the spot, and the rest complained a lot. Now, this actually created two forms of malicious compliance. The first one is, instead of looking for a moderately priced hotel, often the drivers would max out the accepted rate. For example, often we would drive out of major cities and stay in the suburbs, where hotels and motels are cheaper. Not anymore. You'd find the really nice hotel downtown, and you'd have to pay for parking down there too for the truck, so you'd expense that also. Then, some guys took the policy a step further and would walk into the hotel and say, "I'll give you the max rate for this room." They would chat up the hotel desk, explain the situation, and deliberately overpay for the room, spending every cent they could underneath the max rate, just to cost the company a bit more money. The second bit of malicious compliance took a bit more conniving behind the scenes. Shortly after this change was made, it just so happened that the head manager of the company needed to head out on one of these trips, which was a relative rarity. Through some backdoor dealings, a few of us managed to get the most obnoxious, smelliest driver on the schedule with him. This guy was a bit of a trip. Nice guy, but didn't like to shower very often, talk your ear off, and refused to turn on the radio, was really pretty slovenly, and liked to watch adult movies really loud on the TV in the hotel room. Wasn't the brightest bulb either, but was relatively competent at his job and easygoing otherwise. After sharing a hotel room with him for one night, the manager decided he needed his own hotel room. We made sure everyone in the company knew the manager could not even hack it for more than one day sharing a room, and this caused some pretty strong strife. A few more good guys quit. Shortly thereafter, they reinstated the policy of individual hotel rooms. But now, the damage had been done. Some of the guys really liked staying downtown, so the parking fees for the trucks went up, and the overall cost of the hotel rooms went up too. Okay, what did they really expect making a change that drastic after 15 years of it being the same policy? They had to know that there was going to be backlash. I guess they didn't think that their drivers were smart enough to pull off some malicious compliance. Do me a quick favor and take a look down below the video. If that subscribe button's still red, it means you're actually not subscribed to the KCC channel. Please hit that subscribe button for more daily Reddit stories. This next story comes to us from 12345 ABCD1234. If it works after a restart, it's fixed. Let's jump right in. Story time. I worked for a $7 trillion company, one of the largest broker-dealers in the world. My laptop working remotely with a special login key would take 5 to 8 minutes to connect, log in, and load up everything. If I didn't wait the extra 2 minutes after logging in before clicking on stuff, it would just freeze up or not load. Sometimes it still wouldn't work, so I would restart, and that usually worked. One day, they updated software and changed a program and a restart wouldn't work. Did a second and a third. Call tech help, we went through everything I had tried already, which saves everyone time, but they had me restart 2 times more. That did work, so they said fixed. I said, okay, great. Next morning, same thing. Day after that, same thing. 5 restarts. So I called tech help and said, I'm restarting every morning 5 times before it works, and each restart takes about 3 to 5 minutes before it gets to the screen where I can connect and do everything else. They said there's nothing to fix since after the restarts it works. I told my boss and they said that works for now. We can try to get you a new laptop if it becomes a problem, and it's not a problem now because tech says it wasn't. Forward me the tickets for the tech issues. Each tech call tech has to open a ticket and put in all relevant info, including problem and solution. So I did, while summarizing our convo at the top, giving his instructions and tech help instructions and links and info for tech tickets below. So time-wise, the restart is 3 to 5 minutes and connecting is an additional 5 to 8 minutes, then restart again. So total 8 to 13 minutes times 5 restarts. Easily an hour or more just trying to start my day. And for my last 7 months there, I got paid an hour minimum a day for just trying to connect and do nothing. My boss knew it would happen, which is why he wanted to cover his butt himself and me. I still got my work done and was a high performer too. It put me in the middle high, which didn't affect anything, just meant less work for same money. Good times. I think the real problem in this story is the boss, because the IT techs are gonna do what they're trained, and they're not gonna do anything outside of regular protocol unless somebody higher up tells them to. And in this case, the management chain was telling them to just keep on working and do things the way they were, thus wasting time, wasting money, and making OP a whole lot less productive. This next story comes to us from Routine Molasses. Lock your ID away? As you wish. Let's jump right in. I'm a low runner at a supermarket that's known for not bagging your groceries for you. Due to reasons, I'm almost always on the till, so I'm experienced when it comes to the stupidity that is very common in my store's area. One thing I often do is offer customers a special trolley to help transport heavy or bulky items to and from their cars. These trolleys require the customer to temporarily hand over an ID card to the cashier as insurance, so they have to bring these relatively expensive trolleys back. Enter Karen. I don't even remember what she was buying, maybe an outside lounge or something of that ilk, but she was pissed that I'd be taking her driver's license for 10 minutes, as I do for all customers. I tried to assure her that it'd be on my person at this one register, waiting eagerly for her return from downstairs. Nope, not good enough. She demanded I lock it safely away inside the cash drawer. And that's when I realized I had a Reddit story on my hands. With a smile, I showed her as I placed her ID safely nestled among the cash bills in my personal password-protected till. You know, the one that is physically impossible to open mid-transaction. Oh, did I mention that each transaction at this time of day took about 5 minutes at least? Lo and behold, Madam Karen returns with the fabled trolley safe and sound. Unfortunately for her, I had just started a big sale when she came to me, palm extended and ready to receive her favorite plastic card. I took the time to pause my scanning, turned to her with full attention, and explained to her that she would have to wait until I finished serving my current customer, until she could get her precious pal back. Honestly, looking back, I'm not sure who was more pissed, Karen or the 12 people in my line who witnessed me stop doing my job just to reassure her that I was, in fact, doing my job as she specified. Regardless, Karen took note and let me finish the sale. I took extra care with this one to make sure no products fell over or got even the slightest bit wrinkled as I rung them up. Time consuming? Yes. But isn't a job well done worth it? So a few days ago, I went to Canadian Tire and bought a trampoline for my kids. I was told to go pay for my item and wait outside with my car right up by the front door and they would bring it out to me. Now out comes the scrawniest worker there they could possibly find, with my trampoline sitting on a cart. And lo and behold, they brought it right up to the back of my car, and all of a sudden, the cart started raising up to the same level as the back of my car. I was blown away, never seen something like this before, and I could understand that they wouldn't want those special carts going missing. So in this case, I can see taking their ID to make sure the cart comes back. or at least sending out an employee with the cart. I do have to say that in a case like this, I fully support the idea of making Karen wait as long as humanly possible when they've been a true Karen to you. This next story comes to us from Hinosaur. You don't want me to guess? Okay, you asked for it. Let's jump right in. Disclaimer, first time poster, not US resident. So this happened in the late 80s. I was 13 years old and got a weekend job at the local bakery. Nice job, and was paid around $13 an hour selling bread, cakes, handling the register, cleaning, etc. My boss was a creepy guy, and his ditto creepy wife also helped around. They were both the kind of people telling you to do A, not B, and then yelling at you for doing A instead of B. The bakery was quite famous for making 12 kinds of petite four cakes, all different flavors, so of course we sold a lot. The 12 different flavors had different design. One weekend, an older woman came in and wanted to buy some, asked for 12 cakes, 4 specific ones, and I put the cakes in a box. 2 hours later, she came back complaining that none of the cakes she bought were the flavors she wanted. I did not understand what happened and apologized. My boss and his wife heard my conversation with the customer and came in yelling at me, giving me the time of day in front of all the customers. I was useless, I had to know, and from now on, I had to be sure what was in the petite fours before selling any. It turned out that 2 days before my shift, a new baker had been hired. He made the petite fours, but not with the normal design for each flavor. I asked my boss if we could have small signs telling customers and me the different flavors. Bad move. And he and the wife yelled at me again, and the old woman felt sorry for me. 1 week later, the woman returned and wanted to buy petite fours again. I saw my boss and wife spying on my customer service. No signs for flavors, so malicious compliance coming up. I loudly greeted the customer. "Oh, you want 12 petite fours? You are lucky. We have 20 different ones today." Flavor and filling, you ask? Let's see. I'm not sure. Then I took each one of the petite fours and took a bite from them while loudly explaining, "This is with coconut, this is with whiskey, this is with orange." The customer couldn't stop laughing and chose her 12 petite fours, paid, and left. I turned around and saw boss and wife completely shocked. I said, "You told me I had to be sure." Next shift, we had small signs for every petite four. Okay, I kinda had a little bit of a brain hiccup at the beginning of this story because OP said at 13 years old in the 80s, they were making $13 an hour. What? Now, I know OP said they weren't a US resident, but I really can't think of any other places that would have paid $13 an hour for a mom and pop bakery shop in the 80s. Anybody help me out here? I'd love to know where this is. Comment down below. This next story comes to us from Jedi Bo Jedi Prime. You think this is slow? I'll show you slow. Let's jump right in. Okay, so this one still makes me laugh every once in a while. A few years ago, by the way. Sometimes after my shifts, I walk down to a local grocery store to grab some snacks or lunches for the rest of the week. This particular day, I had effed up my knee badly, mainly because I tripped on ice. Ah, Canadian winters. I'm visibly in pain and visibly limping. I have one thing in mind: get in, get out, get the bus, and play Halo till 3 a.m. That's all I want. Karen, though, she wanted the Flash. Now, here's a note about me. Not only am I big in height, but also in size. It's a bit of a sore spot because even though I've learned to love myself, when it's picked on by strangers, it pisses me the F off. Fun fact, trying to disregard what people think about you is hard. Anyways, I'm limping in and going semi-slow as I'm wearing boots, trudging through deep snow and carrying my heavy butt bag. This speed demon in a white BMW whips through the parking lot after being stuck behind the grocery store delivery truck, almost hitting me. I was close to other cars, so she almost hit them too, and kicking up snow that barely missed me. I let out a loud "what the F?" and then finished my lot walk and entered the store when this crazy lady had teleported into the store. Now she's behind me, and without knowing she was the driver, I went to open this security gate thing to be polite. And then it begins. Begin to hold open the gate. Move it, fat butt. Christ, so slow. Can you move any slower? Urgh. I was, of course, upset with the lady. I saw my buddy and he was like, "Whoa, you okay?" And I said I was fine and then moved on. I got my stuff and began to walk out when the universe gifted me some revenge. She was right behind me again. Now, funny thing about this store, there are 3 doors in the lobby. The outside, inside door, the entrance with the gate, and then the exit. Just like the entrance, the exit is a bit of a squeeze. Ha! Slow, eh? I'll show you slow. I had to. My knee was killing me. Heh. Karen is going ape crap. She can't go around me as they have cleaning carts for the night on the right. To the left side would mean squeezing by me, and she obviously wasn't going to do that. Having to almost touch the fat guy? Oh no, we can't do that. Let alone just say, "Excuse me." Nah, too hard. She ran to the entrance door. Take it, it's not a far walk out, I was just taking my time. She whips the gate open, but due to security, the entrance door doesn't open from the other side, only to enter. Is that a safety violation? Probably. But watching Speed Demon try everything to get the door open was priceless. And then, in the lobby, I did it. I walked my speed before, which was a faster slow to her horror. She calls out, "What the hell?" And I said, "Well, you asked me if I could go slower than slow. I was just filling your request." Her face was priceless. Her comments and bullying did dick to help her. She eventually just went around the other side because I was leaving the lot. She pulled out fast, running a red and almost hitting another car. Now, you're probably thinking, what the F was she buying? And I don't know. All I do know is it must have been candy because she was in the aisle with me. 6 feet apart before COVID, by the way. Guess my fat was infectious. The only thing I'm surprised with is how her car is still intact as she drove faster than Lightning McQueen in deep snow and ice. Maybe next time just say, "Excuse me." I would have been happy to move out of the way, no problemo. Also, side note, it was just us in the store. The store was dead, so I knew it was her BMW. Also, because in this plaza, all other stores close around 9, and this was closer to 10. Now, at the end of the story, OP added on an edit, and I can't read it to you because OP went on a rant about BMW drivers, and it is hilarious. If you want to read it, there is a link to this story in the comment section down below. I do recommend going to check it out because it is kind of funny. One of the best things you can do in a situation where somebody doesn't think you're moving fast enough is look them in the eyes and say, "I have 2 speeds. If you don't like this one, you're really not going to like the other one." Check out all 5 OPs linked in the description down below. I thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow.